Hey, what's up, Kansas City? Come see me, Jay Mohr's, at the Midland Theater, July 7th. Tickets go on sale May 18th. I'm coming back, KC, holding it down, Midland Theater. I really hope to see you guys out there. Had a great time last time I was there. Now we're doing a bigger theater, so I need more of you. Tickets go on sale May 18th to come see me, your buddy, Jay Mohr, at the Midland Theater, July 7th. Kansas City, baby. Hey, everybody. Hey, don't fast forward over this part. For real, I got to tell you something. Go to jmohr.com and click the Amazon.com banner and go to Amazon and buy stuff for yourself. That's really what I want for you out of life, is for you to buy things for you. It is helping the podcast a lot. And thank you, thank you, thank you. And tweet me the strange things that you've purchased with photos or it didn't happen.
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game change.
Donuts.
I want to work with you a lot.
Oh, yeah!
All right, everybody, welcome to More Stories. Really quick, reading your tweets. I like that this person, and I think our guest today, Todd Stashwick, will like this. Oh, shit, where did it go? Right away. 15 seconds in, I'm swearing. I like when you guys tweet what you've bought at jmohr.com on the Amazon.com link. This guy, ManBearChuck, at Man. Your name is Chuck Quinn, so why isn't your Twitter address just Chuck Quinn? Why the ManBearChuck?
Maybe because Chuck was already taken.
Maybe. You got to hold that super close to your mouth, too.
You got it.
Not the mic. My dick. All right, this guy wrote, ManBearChuck wrote, hey, I just bought this, JJ. Doctor Who, the 11th hour. Sorry. Doctor Who, the 11th Doctor's sonic screwdriver. Are you a Doctor Who fan?
Yeah, I have one of those.
Cause you're really?
I have
no,
one of
you
those.
don't.
I have one of those.
Because it looks like a one-off. And here's the photo of it. It's wow,
Yeah.
$24.99. This person saved $8 by going to jmohr.com.
Nice. I
hitting
like the
the
fact
Amazon
that you sell
link.
that on your.
Yeah, I like that at the bottom of Amazon it says people that bought this also bought this, and it makes sense. Like if you're buying the 10th Doctor Sonic,
Yeah. Why wouldn't you
screwdriver,
want the 11th?
Then there's the TV show poster,
Sure.
and then the third thing, bow tie, burgundy bow tie.
Yeah, because that's what the 11th Doctor wears.
All right, so you're putting together probably costumes and outfits.
I'm thinking.
So
There's Comic-Con's coming up, so they're getting ready for their cosplay.
Oh,
event.
that's right. Thank you, everybody, for buying things for yourself that you want to buy at jmohr.com and hitting the Amazon.com link. Todd Stashwick and I did a pilot together that did not get picked up, that I thought was super funny,
It was really funny.
called Community Service.
Mm-hmm.
And you played the guy I had to share a jail cell with when the wheels fell off of my life and I wound up in jail with you.
Uh-huh.
And then we had an ad-lib spree.
Yes.
Do you remember that day?
Yes.
Days?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, why did I have to look at him when I was saying, when the guy checks me out of jail, I go, why did that guy have to look at me when I showered? And then I don't know if you remember that, you go, well, why did you look at me when I showered? Which is like totally off the character. And then you said something I remember, I'll never forget, the ad lib you said that made me so happy was we were talking about animal rights, and you said, I have a manatee coat. And then you paused and you said, it's a sweeper. And I didn't know what sweeper meant. But it made me, and I had to ask you after the take, and you said that means it goes all the way to the floor.
All the way to the floor.
You have a fucking manatee coat.
I think my favorite one was we were coming out of something and have to be finishing up a conversation or an argument, and you go, no, there is no surface of the sun. The guy cannot walk on the surface of the sun. And then I just go, I know what I saw, man.
Yes, I forgot about that.
And that one made it in.
I know what I saw, man.
Into the final edit, which I believe you can watch that on YouTube.
It is on YouTube
in
a lot.
3 chunks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that pilot. That's
Mrs.
funny.
Cunningham, Marion Ross, tried to make love to me in the show.
It's very funny.
She told me, I'm destitute, and I'm sitting in her living room wearing just a towel, And she says, one of your eggs are showing. And she points to my balls, and then she tries to have sex with me because she thinks I'm a male prostitute. Remember that?
It's because you were in short shorts.
And we all wound up going to Marion Ross's house for Easter one year.
I wasn't invited.
You were not invited.
No, it's because of your eggs.
Because, oh!
See?
And it was exactly what you would think Mrs. Cunningham's house would look like. It was like a ranch house and photos of like 40 generations of people.
That's perfect.
And just, it was the most as comfortable as you would think. There's a goddamn apartheid truck outside my house right now hosing down the Catholics.
Nice.
It's a Presbyterian street. That's why we hide out here in the studio.
Yeah.
All right, Todd Stashwick, thank you for coming. You
Thanks
have
for
a
having
really
me.
cool comic strip, Devil Inside, and you can get that at toddstashwick.com. And what's really cool, I guess, for you,
2 Ds.
Todd, T-O-D-D, Stashwick, S-T-A-S.
S-H-W-I-C-K.
Stashwick.
Exactly how it sounds.
And at Todd Stashwick on Twitter. And you're a huge comic book guy.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're hooked up with Dennis Calero, who's...
He's a very artist of note who draws for DC and Marvel. Did X-Men Noir for you Marvel fans.
We have a lot of geeks that
Yeah.
listen
Then
because
they'll
when we
know who
came over
Dennis
from
is.
Smodcast and Matt Cohen has his own podcast called Bagged and Boarded about comic books. So there's a lot of comic book people out there. So have at it, bro. How did you hook up with Calero?
I was working on Heroes for the season 4 of Heroes, and Dennis was drawing the web comic for that. And being a comic book nerd, to see myself drawn in comic book form was pretty badass. And so I really nerded out and used his drawing of me as my avatar for Twitter. And I found him through Twitter, and I was like, dude, that's kind of awesome. And so, and he was a fan of the Riches, and so he's like, hey, let's grab coffee, and we did. And he said, we just talked about things we're into, and he's like, do you write? And I said, well, I have this idea about the devil having a crisis of conscience and going on the lam in the Southwest desert. And he said, let's do it as a web comic. And let's give it away for free. We'll do it once a week. And we went from there.
What's the end goal when you give something away for free? Like,
well, I think ultimately part of it is just to for me was to just get my footing in a different medium as opposed to as an actor, just to do something in a different medium. Giving it away for free gets it out to people quickly online. When they don't know, they don't expect something like that from me.
Right.
I can't suddenly say, hey, come pay for this thing that you don't associate with me at all. And so we just started giving it free, and then ultimately we'd like to translate it into other mediums, and we've been fortunate because Universal Cable has optioned it, and we've been pitching it as a live-action TV series.
Wow, buddy boy. There's one of my favorite expressions. Tell me who you're with, and I'll tell you who you are. And you're rolling with Dennis Calero.
Yes, I am.
So, I mean, that's to the comic book world. You're legit.
Hashtag
legit.
Right? And he and he has gotten us, so I get to go with him to the Comic-Cons, and we set up booths, and we just meet the fans and talk to people and stuff. And because I've got, after community service, I've done a lot of those geek-heavy shows. I've done the Buffys, the Angels, and Supernatural and those shows. And so there was a lot of audience for this type of comic that we're writing, and then he's got a heavy footing in the comic book world. So it kind of came together as good things do, without a whole lot of strain. Just made sense.
Toddy, when you write a comic strip, because it's so short, and you do it, is it every week? It's
once a week.
Once a week. What day do you put it up?
Tonight's episode. Well, a new episode will go up tonight.
This won't air today, so
midnight. This won't air today, so it comes out on midnight Pacific time on Tuesday.
On Tuesday,
yeah.
So
essentially Wednesday.
That
Wednesday
shit confuses
morning.
me.
Okay, so Wednesdays.
No, I'm with you. But like when you watch the news or you're listening to the news, when you're driving in your car and you're listening to the news, and it's like 1:30, you're driving back from Vegas, and you're in like Barstow, and they go, later today, President Obama, and you're like, later today? It's fucking 1:30 in the morning.
It's still yesterday.
What is he in fucking Guam?
Doesn't
How's he going to pull up today?
Yeah. He's got a machine.
He does have a machine.
He travels
A
very
giant
quickly.
presidential timing machine.
Yeah.
How much of it do you write at once?
Well,
Is that a ridiculous question?
No, not at all. Not at all. Because
I'm a complete neophyte.
It's also a different animal because it's a strip and not a book.
Right.
And we're publishing it as a book, but
don't
right
you have to
now,
write enough strips?
once a
Don't
week?
you have to think ahead?
Right. I think in terms of a chapter, in terms of because I think in TV terms, in terms of an episode.
Yeah.
And so basically, if this was an hour-long television show, I am leaking it out one scene at a time in webcomic form. So and Dennis, we beat out the story for a year's worth of strips. The story, and then once a week, we just put out one just for the story, one strip at a time. But I know where it's going to end.
Is it hard to cap that scene? Is it hard to not release more than that? Or
Oddly, no.
we
have the constraints are awesome because we have to do. It's like any scene. There has to be a turn in the middle of it. Has to be new information. Has to move the strip forward, and then at the end of it. Leave you with another question, so you want to come back next week. And so it's a challenge, but it's not hard. I mean, coal mining, that's hard. Jumping into forest fires is hard. Writing a weekly web strip,
It's pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, running out onto a battlefield to drag a guy off because he's got shrapnel in his belly, that's hard.
Probably the hardest
But-
part, I
but
would think, of
sitting at
military
Starbucks-
duty. When
sitting at Starbucks with my iPad.
You're that guy?
Yeah.
Don't you have a fucking house?
I have a 4-year-old.
A 4-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And a
Who's a
14
force of nature. She's been downgraded to like a tropical storm. So she was a hurricane. But now as she gets older, she's getting less and less.
If your daughter was a tropical storm,
Yeah.
I say this from what you've told me. Your son is that odd crackling in the air before a thunderstorm.
What, you can smell the ozone?
Yeah, when you see the bottom of the leaves and you're like, I think there's a storm, bro.
Sky shouldn't be
He's not
green.
the storm.
No.
He's that odd feeling in the air before lightning strikes, and you go,
And you're like,
I
something's
think
coming.
something's
It's almost
in.
Ray Bradbury. It's like, yeah. It's like there's something, like there's some strange carnival that the devil is the head of, and it's on its way to town.
When Todd and I worked together on the pilot, community service, he was telling me about his boy, and I think he was like 7 then.
Yeah.
And he was, you explained this, basically you're raising Tim Burton. Like he got kicked out of class for drawing owls, and they all had erections, and then, but it wasn't, nothing he did was sexual or subversive. It was truly like, this is a kid that is, you cannot put him through the machine of education that you put all the kids through. He is his own guy.
Yeah. I remember when my
in
son
the best
was like,
possible sense.
My son was like 3 years old, and I was drying him off after bath, and he looks at me and goes, "You have a penis?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, and he goes, "And me?" He goes, "I have a penis." And I go, "Uh-huh." And he goes, "And mommy?" I go, "Mommy." He goes, "Mommy has a vagina, which is curious and dangerous to the touch."
That's a 4-year-old.
Which, in my opinion, is obviously like it's a nature show's description of a porcupine, so he's not altogether wrong.
Right.
But I'm trying to think where he put curious and dangerous to the touch, because doesn't it sound like Sir Richard Attenborough is hiding in the porcupine
Or Anne Sexton.
Or
It's like an incredible, distraught, drunk woman poet. My vagina, curious and dangerous to the touch.
Yeah.
The room to your bedroom
that
became
was
the room
4,
to
so,
mine.
it's only gone from there. Yeah, that was the
More
last thing
so?
No, you know what? He's 14 now, so he's like monosyllabic and what? No, shut up. I don't know. I guess. Yeah.
My boys are very different. My oldest,
Each other or
they're polar opposites. Jackie was so, they say God doesn't give you more than you can handle. He must have known I could handle very little, because Jackie was so easy, where he would just lay on the floor with a Matchbox car and roll it with his arm with his arm out and his head down on his arm on his side, and with the other arm out, rolling a Matchbox car back and forth. And It was cute and easy, and you appreciated the quiet, laconic nature of the home. But then you go, is he autistic? Because he's been doing this for like 4 hours, and he just keeps rolling it, and we had him tested. Turns out he's dull.
That's a psychological classification. Did you know that? Yeah.
And
there's a spectrum of dull
It took a very
as well.
long time to talk. Speech therapy and walking was all his markers were really late. Whereas Meredith, my other son, it literally at 5 a.m. is holding a soccer ball in one arm, a basketball in the other arm, and he's screaming with joy as he jogs. He's one. He's jogging with these balls. Ah!